this is sort of my philosophy here. I don't, I'm not a God person, grew up Catholic, that sort of thing. You know how it works. You can generally assume that if they become a poet, they're not an altar boy anymore. Or they're really an altar boy. But my philosophy is pretty simple, and that is there's a whole lot of starting over we get to do, and I think that we sort of get stuck in this, here's the image I've been projecting for the last 10 years, so I guess I got to keep it up even though I don't like it anymore, right? So, somewhere, it's also the name of my book. It's called In Search of Midnight. And it's way better if I remember it from the page. Trust me, yo. Trust me, dog. Donde está la paz? Where you be at, dog? Come on. That's why you're supposed to write down the page number. And I did. Look at that. Woo. All right. Sorry. Or am I, right? I love being on stage. I don't give a shit, I could be up here like, I'm card cataloging. You want to watch? I was recently in Spokane. I was there in January. And as I was walking past a grocery outlet, you guys know grocery outlet, right? You unfortunately. And I'm walking past grocery outlet, and I have jeans on, a number of layers, a beanie, and doubled the beard. I've trimmed this since, so double the beard, right? And I got bad teeth, and I smell weird, And I'm walking, and this car pulls up, total 1988 Oldsmobile, right? And it's rusted on the bottom, and there's a lady in there, and she's probably 41 years old. And she's just sitting there, waiting for me to pass the front of her car. And she's got a bunch of grocery outlet groceries piled up. And she's just as I pass the car, I hear her window. It's the first ever motorized window roll down, automatic window. And she's like, "Excuse me, sir." And I turn around and go, "Yeah?" She goes, "Are you hungry?" And I'm like, "Yes." "Do you want a sandwich? I have a field roast sandwich here. Would you like it?" And I was like, "Yes, but not for the reasons you think I need it. I'm just always hungry, I'm not broke, if that helps." Oh man, it was awesome. It's the first time in a while I didn't have to punch someone in Spokane to get a free sandwich, So it was weird. Just kidding. Spokane is seriously, if Seattle is the Emerald City, Spokane is where the house landed on the witch. Somewhere in the cold midnight of Idaho, two women prepare to leave town together. They're tired of drawing public attention the way they hold each other's hands. Couples in Idaho do hold hands. They just don't usually look like two women. So they hit the road for California, where people still segregate themselves from each other, and every city's east side is feared by suburbanites because the local news anchor hates the east side. So he reminds us every night on the nightly news just how dangerous it is with all of its minorities and crime. He prefers downtown at midnight, where he can afford to be a teenager again and maybe even on top of one. Somewhere on the east side of Vancouver, British Columbia, a 14-year-old woman hops on a bus to get to Hastings Street downtown, where her body's worth a little bit more. She wonders if any girl has ever taken their pimp to the school prom and watches out for all the hookers who are younger than her. Dead mothers cannot question a child who sleeps through the afternoon. When she has enough money, she'll catch the bus to Montreal or Toronto and dance for the rest of her life, but currently it is midnight and she has rent to make. At midnight in Hollywood, there are waiters and waitresses practicing their Academy Award acceptance speech while serving you chicken wings and hash browns. At midnight in Denver, there are poets heating up their dinners on radiators and washing their clothes by hand because quarters are saved for buses and homeless people. At midnight in San Antonio, a man holds a party because the body warmth will heat up his house just long enough for him to get a few hours of sleep before teaching his elementary school class in the morning. At midnight in Portland, a college student sleeps in someone else's bed every night so she can continue her education. At midnight in Seattle, a man hears a poem that might keep him alive for one more day. At midnight in San Diego, an illegal immigrant puts American cash in an envelope to be mailed back to his family in Mexico while eating his first Big Mac on his late-night lunch break. At midnight in Oklahoma City, a young girl gets drunk for the first time and realizes it is the best thing to do because it is the only thing to do. At midnight in Chicago, a man sits in jail for the first time in his life for a crime he did not commit. He knows nobody will believe him because he knows all too well the color of his own skin. He marvels at how far we've come. At midnight, in some of the worst parts of Detroit, a woman prays to her God for the first time in years because of something she heard on the news. She really wants tomorrow to be a better day. At midnight, in San Jose, California, a fat man puts more food into his mouth to try to feel better about the world or forget it altogether. At midnight, throughout the rest of the world, people are exactly who they should be. They are you. And you are quite possibly someone you'll never share with anyone else. You are the ones who could leave hot food at the feet of sleeping homeless people and then worry about your next meal when no one's looking. You're the ones who may never function at noon, the ones everyone will say left the planet just a little too soon. You might not have tongues, but you have a lot to say. I talk a lot, but I'm trying to listen just as much. Maybe you're doing what it takes to stay sane and alive. Maybe you're not wearing the finest clothes. Maybe you're online and searching. Maybe you're making free calls on phones you can't afford because you're reaching out to yourselves in an attempt to find perfection. Whether it might be in you or in someone next to you, but somewhere out there, it must exist. It must be possible to achieve what we all want. Because if it isn't, then that means midnight comes to us for no reason. That means we start over every single day for no reason. So there must be something perfect in this world. And I believe that it comes to us all, every single one of us, at midnight. Thank you.